ladies and gentlemen, this is Chef Guru from guruscooking.com with veg Manchurian. We'll first prepare the Manchurian balls, for which I've taken a bowl to which we'll be adding 3 cups of grated cabbage, two cups of grated carrot, and 1 cup of grated capsicum. Instead of capsicum, you may also prefer beans. We'll add 1 cup of finely chopped green stalks of spring onions, and we'll add in 1/4 teaspoon of chopped garlic, followed by a 1/4 teaspoon of chopped ginger, and 1/2 teaspoon of white pepper powder. In case you do not have white pepper powder, you can use the black pepper powder. We'll add salt to taste. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt. And a 1/4 teaspoon of Ajinomoto or MSG. We'll add in a 1/4 teaspoon of soy sauce. And 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Finally, 2 tablespoons of corn flour. The flour is to be added so that we can knead all these vegetables together into a dough. And until these vegetables hold it together, they will not turn into balls and we won't be able to fry them. So for this reason we've added this flour. Now let's knead this like we knead a dough. So mix up everything pretty well. You don't have to add any water to this. The vegetables themselves will release a lot of water. So mash it up very thoroughly, and once you have done that, I've taken a wooden plank to which I'm adding around 2 tablespoons of corn flour. So we'll smear this corn flour over the wooden plank using our fingers as though we are creating a pathway. And the dough that we prepared using the vegetables earlier, we'll be grabbing enough of it in our palm to create round balls. And these balls, when you deep fry them, they can easily break. So in order to avoid that, we'll be rolling them in this corn flour that we have prepared and poured over on this wooden plank. This way we'll seal all the balls from all across so that when you deep fry them, they wouldn't break. We'll follow the same procedure for all the balls, and this would give us approximately around 12 to 15 balls. Make sure you coat all of them pretty well. Once you've coated all these balls just like this, we'll be taking a wok in which we'll be adding enough oil to deep fry them. And here are all those balls that I've prepared. When this oil is hot enough, we'll be adding these balls and deep frying them. Make sure the oil is not very hot, otherwise what happens is from the outside your balls would be crisp, but from the inside they would be not cooked at all. So you have to cook at a medium flame. So the oil should not be very cold, it should not be very hot, it should be on a medium flame. The time required to cook these balls would be approximately around 2 to 3 minutes. So while cooking, just make sure you shift sides here and cook them evenly from all the sides. And also be careful while you use your ladle, because these balls are pretty delicate, so you may run into them and they would easily break up. It's been almost 3 minutes now. So if I can just remove them and focus our camera on them, you can see how well cooked these balls are. Here you have these veg Manchurian balls. In the same way you'll be cooking the rest of the balls as well, which would look something like this. You can also soak them on a paper towel or a paper napkin to remove all the excess oil. I've taken a wok with 2 tablespoons of oil, to which we are adding 1.5 tablespoons of finely chopped ginger. We are cooking at a very high flame, and we'll also add 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic. We'll add in 1 cup of the bulb of spring onion. That is the white part, which looks like a bulb, of course. That is why it's called the bulb of spring onion. We'll just saute this together, mix it up pretty well. Now we don't have to turn these onions brown, just cook them for around a minute. That would be sufficient. We'll add a 1/4 teaspoon of Ajinomoto or MSG and 1 teaspoon of white pepper powder. We'll drop in 1 teaspoon of salt. Remember, this recipe is an Indo-Chinese recipe. It contains a lot of sauces, and most of those sauces already contain salt. So you have to be careful on the amount of salt that you'll be adding here. And also remember, when we were preparing the Manchurian balls, we have already added salt there as well. So toss it up nice, mix it up pretty well, cook at a high flame, and make sure everything mixes up pretty good. We'll add in 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. And 1 tablespoon of tomato ketchup. I'm using Heinz tomato ketchup. You can use any one of those. A lot of people do not add these tomato ketchup, but I love it because of that beautiful tangy taste that you receive. I also have 1 tablespoon of hot chili sauce coming in here. The brand I'm using is Tasia. It hardly matters which brand you use. All it matters is you should have a hot chili sauce with you. So we added around 1 tablespoon of hot chili sauce and 1 tablespoon of the regular tomato ketchup. Mix it up pretty well and let these sauces cook for around 45 seconds. And then we'll be pouring in 1 to 2 cups of water. I have poured in around 1.5 cup of water. It depends on the level of consistency for your gravy you need. So I want to serve this along with the rice, that is veg fried rice that I've prepared, so I poured in enough water. If you want to keep it dry, then do not add water here, and your Manchurian balls would come up as dry. We have 1 teaspoon of lemongrass sauce here that we'll be adding. This is optional. In case you have this, it will be really awesome that if you add this, the taste would be something that you can expect from the authentic Thai recipes. The guys at Bangkok, they always use lemongrass in most of the recipes. We'll drop in 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now this is pretty optional. In case if you remember, I told you we already have a lot of salt in most of the sauces, so you may add the salt according to your own taste. We'll drop in 1 cup chopped chives. That is also optional because we don't get chives easily in India. If in case you do not have chives, you can also drop something that I'm dropping now, which is 1 cup of chopped green stalks of spring onions. So the green long tails of the spring onions, which we call the stalks, chop them finely, add them. Can you look at this beautiful color of this recipe here? The sauce is so amazing. The aroma, of course, you cannot smell that, but you can see the beautiful colors erupting here. If I can possibly focus my camera and zoom in properly, greens and browns and whatnot, so beautiful. So let this come to a boil. Cook it for around a minute to a minute and a half until this green stalks that we added and the chives that we added cook properly along with these sauces. And then we'll see what is to be done next. So after around 2 minutes, we'll add in 1 cup of water that has been mixed with 2 teaspoons of corn flour, and make sure you drop it the way I'm dropping it, gently while you keep stirring continuously. This way no lumps are formed, and this is going to thicken your sauce in less than 30 seconds. So my sauce is already thick in just 15 seconds, and corn flour really adds magic to your recipe for sure. Now we'll just cook this so that the dry corn flour gels well with the sauces and thickens up pretty well. We have to cook this for around 30 to 45 seconds, not more than that. Throughout this recipe, ladies and gentlemen, we have been cooking at a very high flame, and we'll be following the same thing till the end. If you think I forgot, we did not. We'll have to add 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Sourness, how can we miss that, right? And it was important to add vinegar in the end, because if you add vinegar initially, it will not allow your sauces to cook properly, because anything that is sour doesn't allow your curries or gravy to cook properly. We'll add in the veg Manchurian fried balls that we had fried earlier. Add only the balls that you want to serve right now, because when you add these balls, they become pretty soft and tender. So I just have 3 friends of mine with me right now. I added only a few balls. The rest of the balls I've kept them. I'll add them later on to the sauce just before serving to my other guests. We'll cook this for around a minute and let these sauces dissolve properly and stick to these beautiful balls, glue to them. And let me just grab one of these. I'm so scared they may break, so I'm just being careful here. Let me grab one of these gently and show you how they look. There you are. Ladies and gentlemen, you can serve this as a side dish with a main dish, which could be fried rice or noodles. Thank you so much for watching Veg Manchurian.